In this video we are going to create a fancy intro for a birthday slideshow. I'm glad you're here with me again. I'm Nadine from AquaSoft, and I have to admit it's been a long time, but I'll do my best to post more videos. You can always write me in the comments what kind of video you want to see next. But now, first, I'm going to show you what kind of video we're creating today. I'm going to show you the animation. There's a text, there are two rectangles that open, or more triangles, you see them as triangles, and there's the image and some clouds. So how is it created? We have this image at first. We have the clouds. They come from an extension package which is called Natural Effects. You don't need to use it, but I think it's very nice, and the whole package, the whole extension package is really nice to have. It has so many useful effects like rain, fire, waves and clouds. So here we have the first rectangle. You see it's slightly tilted and animated. And here's the second one. It's also tilted and animated. And then we have a shape, a square shape that's not filled but has a border. And inside of that border, there is a fancy happy birthday text. I think we are going to delete all that's in the timeline right now. We create a new project, and I'm going to start with the chapter, or in Slideshow 12 there already is a chapter. And then I'm going to take my photo. I'm going to remove the fade in. And now let's move to the objects section of the toolbox. We need some shapes. We take the first rectangle shape from dynamic shapes and we drag it under the image. So now we have this white rectangle that's covering up the whole image, but we want it to be like this. You have this green dot here, and you can rotate the rectangle slightly, make it a little bit wider so it covers more of the image. And we want to animate it like this. At first it's here, and then it moves out of the frame. And in order to do this, we need a motion path. So that's our starting point. I know it's not really exact, but let's imagine it is. It's the starting point. And now we add another movement mark or another motion mark with this plus icon here. And the motion should not start right away. It should start maybe 2 seconds in. Now I click on the plus icon, and then we can move this yellow dot and this dotted frame out of the image like so. Can make this a little bit smaller so you can see more. So that's the way we want to move it. And now let's look at the preview, how this looks. First we have our rectangle, and then it moves out of the image. But we need a second rectangle, and I'm just going to copy this one. I hold the Control key, and then I drag the first rectangle into the next track. Here you have it. So now we have to position the first motion mark like so. And the second motion mark, we have to get the right one. Yes, this is the right one. We place it out of the image, out of the frame. So let's look at the animation, how this looks. At first, everything is white, and now we see the image. That's really nice. To make it slightly more stylish, the rectangles need a nice color. So I click on the first rectangle, and I think this one needs to be darker. I go to color and I pick a darker blue or teal color. And now I click on the second rectangle and I choose a lighter blue. I've selected these blue tones because the image has blue tones in the background from the sky, so I thought this is really fitting. And now we need the square shape. I select this shape icon here in the toolbox and drag it under the track with the second rectangle. You see we have this square, but we need to change the color here. At shape there's white, but we need to have it transparent. So you see now it's transparent, there is no filling, and it has an inner border or an outer border. It doesn't really matter which border you choose. The outer border is, I would say, it's slightly rounded, and the inner border is more clear. I think I will choose the inner border. And now we need the text. I go to the text object and drag it under the shape, and I position the frame of the text slightly over our square shape, and then I select the centered option here and here, and now I'm going to write happy birthday. I select the text and I think I'm not going to make it bold. I just make it regular. And then there's this nice font, it's called Bragita, and it needs to be bigger. I think it needs to be even bigger than that. And I'm going to change the color. Not quite black, maybe a very dark gray. If the text and the square are a little bit too big, you can always move them into a flexi collage. Just make sure that they're not next to each other but under each other. And when they are in the flexi collage, you only click on the red frame of the flexi collage in the timeline, and now you can change the size. And you can also give it an animation. I will remove the animation from the text and just give the flexi collage the animation. Just a simple alpha blending, I think. And it's very short. And let's see how this looks. There's the image. And I think we need to crop the image because the text should really be here in the clouds and not over the woman. So I'm going to the zoom and camera pan mode, and I'm just cropping the frame. I think like so. And I think it would be nice if it had also a movement, slight movement path. So I'm going to create a motion mark. And we know that the animation starts at 2 seconds. So it doesn't really make sense to have this animation end at 2 seconds. We are going to make it start at 2 seconds and have it end at 4 seconds. So let's see how this looks. This looks nice, doesn't it? And now for the last step, we need the clouds. You could also leave the clouds and choose a particle object, but for this instance I'm going to choose the clouds because they are nice. I'm going to use this cloud formation, and I'm going to drop it here under the image. Maybe this needs some tweaking. I'm a big fan of just trying it out. So this is the final step. There you have it. Image, clouds. Well, you could change the clouds a bit. I think this was rather easy, but I'm doing this all the time. So please tell me in the comments if it was easy for you or understandable. And if you've learned something that you would also use in your slideshow. See you next time. Bye.